Lesson 2.4, Writing Equation of Quadratics in Vertex and Standard Form. All right, when you're trying to find the equation of a quadratic, right, from some sort of information like a graph or some points or something like that, the most important thing is to think about what information was given to you. You want to use vertex form if you know the vertex, okay? Now, you want to use X-Intercept form if you know the X-intercepts, okay? So depending on what you have, you will use, right, the appropriate equation, right? So basically, if you know the vertex, use vertex form. If you know the X-intercepts, use X-intercept form, okay? So let's take a look at number one here. So number one here, the vertex here looks like it's going to be -1, comma, -3, right? So since I know the vertex, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use vertex form and plug in the vertex. So I'm going to plug the vertex into vertex form. Now we don't know the a, so we'll just write a there. X, and remember the x, we do the opposite sign, +1 squared, and then we have -3. So we just plug the vertex into vertex form. Now we need to find out what a is. In order to find out what a is, you need to find another point on the parabola, right, that crosses at a perfect corner, right? Where does a parabola cross at a perfect corner on the graph? So I see this point right here, or I could possibly even use this point right here, okay? I'll just use this point right here. So this is 0, comma, -2. So this is my x and my y. So I'm gonna plug this point, right, 0, comma, -2, right? I'm gonna take the x and the y and plug it into the vertex form for x and y. So y is -2. I don't know what a is. I'm trying to find that. X now is 0 plus 1 squared -3. So we're just going to work this out and solve for a. So 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 times a is just a. So we can -2 is equal to a minus 3. So if I add 3 on both sides, I know a is 1, okay? So now I can write the equation in vertex form. Y is equal to a, which is 1, parentheses x plus 1 squared minus 3. So that's the answer, right, for vertex form. But we were also asked to write it into standard form. So if you're going to change this to standard form, right, we're just going to work all this out right here. So basically we're going to end up with y is equal to 1, parentheses, and then you're going to square the x plus 1 squared. Okay, so you can either write x plus 1 times x plus 1 and work it out, or use the shortcut pattern I taught you. So x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus 3. So 1 times all of this is going to give us the same thing. So we have x squared plus 2x, and then 1 minus 3 will give us -2. So this would be the equation in standard form. Okay, so the equation for this graph right here in vertex form, right, we have it, and then also in standard form. Okay, let's take a look at the next problem. So over here we have the vertex again. So the vertex looks like the coordinates are 5, -3, 5, comma, -3. So since I know the vertex, I'll just go ahead and use vertex form. So y is equal to a x minus 5 squared minus 3. Right, and then I'm gonna find another point. So it looks like I could use this point right here. If I want, I can also use this point. So either one's fine. So right here, the coordinates, it looks like it's going to be 3, comma, -5. So y is -5. A, I'm gonna find that right now. X is 3, so minus 5 squared minus 3. So we work all this out. So 3 minus 5 is -2. -2 squared is 4. So 4 times a is 4a. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. I'm going to end up with 4a is equal to, I'm going to add 3 over here, I get -2. Divide by 4. So find out a is going to be -1/2. Okay, so that means my equation in vertex form, if I write everything, I'm going to end up with y is equal to -1/2, parentheses, x minus 5 squared minus 3. So this is my equation in vertex form. Now, if I need to change this to standard form, right? So I'm gonna just multiply, work everything out. So I'll do it down here. So I'll get y is equal to -1/2. And then I end up with x squared minus 10x plus 25. Right? And then minus the 3. Right? So I end up with y is equal to -1/2 x squared. I distribute the -1/2, so that'll become positive 5x. And then I'll get negative 25/2. Then minus 3. Then we just need to get common denominator to combine like terms here. Get -1/2 x squared plus 5x. So if we get common denominator right here, this is the same thing as the -3. So that's the same thing as -6/2. So -25 and -6, that'll give me -31/2. And you can just keep it like that, that's fine. Let's take a look at number 3 here. So we need to find the equation of the quadratic in vertex and standard form, right? So we want a vertex and standard form, both answers. And they give us the vertex, and they tell us the parabola passes through this point here, okay? So instead of getting a graph, they're just giving you some sort of information and some points to work with. So since we know the vertex, we're just going to use vertex form. So y is equal to a parentheses x minus 2 squared plus 3. And then this is our x and our y that we're going to plug in also. So -1 is equal to a parentheses 3 minus 2 squared plus 3. So 3 minus 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1, so that's just going to give us a. Minus 3 on both sides, right? -3 and -3, we end up with -4. So we know a is -4. So the equation in vertex form would be y is equal to -4 parentheses x minus 2 squared plus 3. And we work this out. So this is the equation in vertex form. In standard form, we need to work all this out. That'll be y is equal to -4 parentheses x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus 3. So our final answer in standard form will be -4x squared plus 16x. And then when we multiply here, that'll give us minus 16 plus 3. So we end up with -4x squared plus 16x minus 13. Okay, so this is the equation in standard form. This is the equation in vertex form. Okay, let's take a look at number 4 here. So same idea, nothing different. We're going to end up with vertex form because we know the vertex, so we use vertex form. Y is equal to a parentheses x plus 5 squared minus 1. Here's our x and y. So we plug it in, so we get 17 is equal to a parentheses -2 plus 5 squared minus 1. That's 3 squared, which is 9. So 9 times a, right, minus 1 is equal to 17. Add 1 to both sides. 18 is equal to 9a. We divide by 9. So a is 2. So in vertex form, we have 2 parentheses x plus 5 squared minus 1. And if we work all this out, that'll give us standard form. So we'd end up with y is equal to 2 parentheses x squared plus 10x plus 25 minus 1. We distribute the 2x squared plus 20x plus 50 minus 1. So our final answer in standard form right here. Okay, here's vertex form. All right, so let's take a look at number 5 here. So we need to find the equation of the parabola, right? And they give us some sort of information. They want just vertex form, right? So we only need to give vertex form this time. So we know the vertex, and we know that it passes through this point right here. Okay, so we're just going to use vertex form. So y is equal to a parentheses x plus 2 squared minus 3. And then this is the parabola passes through this point, so this is our x and y value. that we can plug into the equation. So we get 1 is equal to a parentheses 4 plus 2 squared minus 3. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 squared is 36. So we get 36a minus 3 is equal to 1. We add 3 to the other side, so we're going to end up with 4. Divide by 36. So it looks like a is going to be 1 over 9. So my equation for vertex form, y is going to equal 1 over 9, parentheses, x plus 2 squared minus 3. Okay, and they only ask for vertex form, so this is the only one you need to give. All right, so number 6 here, find the equation of the parabola in standard form. So they want standard form this time. And they give us the vertex, all right? And we know that it passes through the x-axis at 7, 0. All right, so same thing. We just plug in the vertex first. So we don't know a. So vertex form, we have x. So you can put x minus 0 if you like. We know the k is 3. Then we plug in the x and the y from the x-axis, the other point. This is my x and my y. Plug it in. I get 0 is equal to a, parentheses, x, which is 7, minus 0 squared plus 3. 7 minus 0 is 7 squared, so we get 49. A plus 3 is equal to 0. We minus 3 to the other side. So negative 3 is equal to 49a. Divide by 49. So a is going to be negative 3 over 49. Okay? Now the equation in standard form, so we have y is equal to a negative 3 over 49, right? Parentheses, x minus 0, which is just going to be just x, right? And then we have plus 3. Well, x minus 0 is just x, so basically we have y is equal to negative 3 over 49 x squared plus 3. So this would be the equation in standard form. Okay. All right, so for example 7, we want to write the equation in X-Intercept form. Okay, so we want the equation in X-Intercept form. So now you notice here, we know the X-intercepts of the graph, right? So that means that we know right here, the P is equal to negative 2, the Q is equal to 3. Okay, so since we know the X-intercepts, we are going to plug it into X-intercept form. So X-intercept form, remember, was y is equal to a parentheses. Now just remember the P and the Q, you have to do the opposite signs when you plug them in the parentheses. So x plus 2, x minus 3. Now we need to solve for the a. So the same thing, we need to find another point that crosses at a perfect corner on the graph. All right, and then we take the x and the y value. So they gave us one here. They tell us x and y is 2, negative 12. So we plug it in, y is negative 12. We're going to find a right now. X we know is 2. So 2 plus 2. X is 2 minus 3 right here. So we work it out. So this is going to give me a times 4 times negative 1. So if you work all this out, this is negative 4a. Divide by negative 4. So we're going to find out a is equal to positive 3. Okay. So they want X-intercept form, so just plug it into X-intercept form at the end. So y is equal to, we know our a is 3, right? And remember, we had, this is X-intercept form right here, right? We just needed to find the a. Now we know what it is. So 3 parentheses x plus 2, right? And then we have x minus 3. Okay? That was number 7. Let me do another one. I'll do number 9 right here. Okay? So once again, we know the x-intercepts. So we know p is negative 5. We know q is equal to 2. So since we know the x-intercepts, we will use x-intercept form. So we have y is equal to a, which we don't know, x plus 5 times x minus 2. And then they give us this other point here. This is our x and our y. We plug it into the equation. Y is negative 2. X here is negative 4 plus 5. Negative 4 minus 2. Then we start working it out. So a times 1. Negative 4 minus 2, that's negative 6. So this is going to give us negative 6a is equal to negative 2. Divide by negative 6. So we get 1/3 is equal to a. So in X-intercept form, our equation is going to be 1/3 parentheses x plus 5 times x minus 2.